Hello everyone, this is Rosemary with Good Journeys Tarot, and today we're going to be talking about days 13 through 19 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. So let's jump right in. Day 13 was, where do you see your tarot practice in 10 years? So in 10 years, I would like my tarot practice to be much more in-depth than it currently is. At this time, I am learning to integrate astrology into my interpretation of the cards as well as numerology, and am looking forward to being able to do that um, easier than I can right now. The other thing is I'd like to have a regular group of clients that I work with, as well as be doing some events and whatnot. Currently working on building that part of my practice, in addition to continuing to work on designing a deck. I actually have had 3 different ideas for decks, and have gotten halfway through one and through the major arcana on 2 others, um, and then I get another idea that seems unrelated to those and start again. So hopefully in 10 years I'll have worked out a deck, even if I just print it on a playing card site for myself. Um, Day 14 was, do you have any tarot related tattoos or home decor, that type of thing? The easy answer is no. I do have a lot of drawings that I have done of tarot related artwork. This is actually the oh, okay, I've got to figure out this reverse image thing on my screen. So if anybody has any ideas how I flip it so that I can see what you're seeing, that would be great. I can't do the mirror image thing. Um, so this is kind of my design for a card back. It was a first draft sketch. You'll see I have the elements represented as well as the center mystic rose, which, again, this was a first draft, and I'm not sure that it actually is how I want it to be in when it's finished. So, and some other things I did. This was my interpretation of the tower. And so for me, the most important thing in the tower is the lightning, because it represents a sudden change. And you never know when lightning's going to strike. It could strike any time of the day or night. But the thing about it is that regardless of when that change comes, life goes on. There'll be a morning and there will be an evening again following that change. It's how we deal with it that is the important thing. Um, so I probably will use a sunflower definitely as part of my sun card. However, I end up doing the deck. This is some Sharpie images that I did, because I do just love sunflowers to begin with. Um, so those are a few of them. Let's see. My next book. This is actually the most recent attempt at the Lovers. And I did like the way this one turned out better than my original Lovers card. It's a little bit more edgy than some of my other characters in my deck, but I really love the way these two turned out. So this was actually a concept for the cups. Um, a glass artist at the Renaissance Festival here in Georgia does these champagne flutes that are shaped like fish, and I thought that was a unique and interesting idea. So it was kind of going with that and trying to work through that. Um, So this was one concept for the moon that I did. Woman staring up at the moon in the night sky. Um, Here is another attempt at probably an emperor, although it's kind of a youthful emperor, or a sun card that I did. Um, this might possibly be a high priestess or if you can kind of see the skull in the background, the start of the death card that we will just. I think there was one more in here that I wanted to show you. Yeah, so this was originally one of my sketches for the High Priestess or Shamaness, and yeah. There's also in front of one of these books some sketches, which are just like really pencil sketches of some ideas for cards. One is, just to give you an idea, this is the Six of Cups. Now, it's hard to see because, again, it's a pencil sketch, but you're going to see my initial idea was to use playing in a riverbed where the water is like really shallow and there's fish swimming through and that kind of thing. This is actually an image from my childhood. We lived on the river, and there was a section of the river that was always really low in the summer, like 4 or 5 inches, and we would go and play in it. So my concept was that in the background there will be cups on the stairs that led down to the river, and you'll also see where I have the crayfish there, that kind of thing. But again, this was an initial sketch, so just an idea of something, and I want to hash that out at some time. So the third one, the 15th was, okay, what is your favorite pop culture tarot reference or reader? And so I have three that I want to mention. One was the most horrible reading I ever saw, which was on the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It was, like most of the things they do on that show, over the top and not true to most pagan practice, or witchcraft even. So the card interpretations were just way off. I think they could have actually used better cards to accomplish the purposes that they were trying to accomplish. I think some of the ones that they used were just wrong altogether to begin with, and then the person who was reading was, basically reading the person and not the card, which it was just horrible. Horrible reading. So check that out if you want to. The second one I want to mention is my honorable mention. That's Wine Country, which I know Strength Reverse mentioned as well. The tarot reader was a little over the top, which I get it being a comedy-ish movie. So, but her readings were spot on as far as the cards go, and she did a great job interpreting them. Really thought that was great. Now, I think the most realistic portrayal of the tarot and how I see the tarot in my own life was seen in Tales of the City on Netflix. Ellen Page's character did a reading for Olympia Dukakis's character of 3 cards, and she did a great job of interpreting the 3 cards. And as you go through the remainder of the series, you see how Olympia's character embraces the messages from the cards and brings those things out in her life. So the actual last episode of that season, episode 10, is named the Three of Cups, which was one of the cards in the reading. And you can see how things unfold from that reading. And so to me, it shows that serendipity that I see in the tarot. And I also like that it was a realistic reading of actual people, friends, or family getting together and doing a reading for one another and interpreting it well and then taking the advice and moving forward. So when you get to the end of the episode 10, it is serendipitous. It looks like you've told the fortune or the future because you have done the things necessary to accomplish what you learned in your reading. And so it was just a beautiful interpretation. And it's how I see the tarot most of the time myself. So check that out, Tales of the City on Netflix. Episode 10 is the Three of Cups. I could not find where the tarot reading was in the series, unfortunately. There hasn't been a lot of talk about it online, and I didn't find it scrolling through the episodes today. So, prompt 16 was to recreate your 2020 card of the year, and why did you choose it? So, I do a 13 card spread every year that has a card for the year in it, and that's the card that I usually work with. Uh, and so this year it was the Three of Cups. If you want to see how I'm embracing the Three of Cups, hop on over to my Instagram. It's Good Journeys Tarot. Check out my story that's currently posted, as well as my most recent Instagram post for more information about how I'm embracing my Three of Cups this year. But this was kind of it started out as a rough sketch, and then I decided to go ahead and color it in. Please, somebody tell me how to fix this mirror image problem. Okay. I will probably redraw this at some point. I definitely wanted the three women to be of varying age and ethnicity, and I wanted to draw a cup that basically was three cups which could be put together into one vessel. Kind of thing, and so I would probably make the cup larger, move it up higher, and whatnot. But I do like the way this turned out for a lot of various reasons, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with people and celebrating things this year than I have in the past, rather than sit on my couch. But do go check out that Instagram post because I think you'll find it hilarious. Okay. Um, 17. What celebrity would you want to read for and why? I really will read for anyone who has a question that doesn't violate my ethics. I'm not really one of those people who is obsessed with celebrity or even cares about celebrity. Usually, when I go to sci-fi fantasy conventions, I'm there to see the costuming and whatnot. And if I happen to run into a celebrity, that's fine. But I'm not going to stand in line for autographs. And you know, they're just other human beings as far as I'm concerned. And that's easy to say when you're completely unknown like myself, but that's just the way I've always seen it. I mean, people are people. So days 18 and 19 for me had the same answer. 18 was the best deck for meditation and journey work, and then the other 19 was the best one for ritual and magic. And so for the last year and a half, that has been the same deck, and that has been the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, which by now many people have seen. The images just have their own little world, and I find it interesting to go into them. And I've also been like Benabel has suggested at different times, use the cards as talismans at different times of the year throughout the last year and a half, and enjoy really working with the deck. I will say one of the things that has happened in my tarot practice is that now I apply a lot of her meaning and a lot of her structure of this deck to my reading of the RWS. So sometimes I will actually apply her court card meanings to the RWS, and I also do, when I draw a page, if I believe it's a message, draw additional cards, similar to how she set her deck up. Because this deck really did speak to me on so many levels. It connected me back with my spiritual journey. And so I've enjoyed working with it for many reasons. Currently, my deck that I'm using for ritual and magic is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. These are the cards that I have on my altar for my annual cards. And wow, an upside down card. Oh, I've got them all upside down. How about that? Um, it's a beautiful deck and it looks great on my altar. So that's what I'm kind of using at the moment for ritual and magic. And so right now the Three of Cups is up there along with the Nine of Cups, which is my card for January. So enjoy. Oh, I've got them all mixed up. It's so unlike me. I'm such a careful shuffler. I never have reversals. Um, So, as far as for meditation and journey work, I am now starting to work with Chris Ann's Lightseers Tarot. There's some beautiful images in here that I think you can really just dive into. And like the Spirits Keepers, there's just this own little world that is so unique and interesting in each card. Um, and I am enjoying working with it despite the fact that I really, really did not like the card stock. Probably going to say that every time I use this deck. So, um, but I think it will be great for that type of work. So that is day 13 through 19 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot. I hope that you get something out of this and that you'll be back for more. Please do like and subscribe and check out my Instagram to see some funny photos of me from this weekend. Until next time, this is Rosemary. Good journeys.